address this here while I talk. This still needs to go down into the front there, but it's a bit of a delicate procedure to get it into that area. And what this is the very first piece of the dash that everything else is based off of. So once this is mounted, the subsequent dash sections are going to fix to this flange and extend out towards the occupants. To create this piece, we pulled the template off the original dash, extended back to encompass the defroster vent, as well as a heads-up display unit. So with those items located, we can now get this into place. And to do that, I need to create a transition piece that'll extend down from this front edge down into the structure. And that's going to be a bit tricky because just getting in there is not fun. We can get some paper, get some magnets, and try sticking the paper up to the glass. There's a lazier way we can do this. I'm going to give the lazy way a shot. This is the lazy way, guys. Sticking magnets to glass was a bit too ambitious for me. We lay this paper here up on top. Kind of have a rough shape as to what we need. We can transpose our reference points from the inside to the outside. Just like that. And we can do a general scribe. The piece that we're creating is a band that's only about 1.5 inches tall. I'm going to take and cut away this excess top material so we can see the reference lines on the inside of the glass a little easier. Now I appreciate your concern, guys, when you saw me make that top line there using the Sharpie and only my finger as a guide running along the bottom edge of the windshield. You're probably thinking that's not a very accurate way of doing it, and you're right, it's not. But it gives us a starting point for the template. So now with the excess material removed off this template, I took a piece of masking tape, ran it along the top edge where the dash is going to be. I can now run my secondary tape line along the bottom edge of the first tape line, and that'll give me the perfect edge of where we need to be for the template. And then we can base our lines off of that. Now with the top edge of this template indicated, we can take and cut away that masking tape, and that'll give us the new top edge of the template that we need. Alright guys, well there you have it. The top edge of this template is the top edge of the dash inside the car, and it's accurate. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to take this pressed paper template over to the sheet metal, trace the top edge, scribe it, and make our indications for the 1.5 inches on the sheet metal itself. If I cut the band out of this pressed paper template, by the time I got to the table, more than likely it'll lose its shape and I won't know if we have a true curve or not. Okay, a few things going on here at the same time, but this is going to be our piece that we create. Now we have the 5 tabs here. We have the top edge is going to meet up with the top section of the dash. We have our bend line, and we have our cut line where the bottom of the tabs are going to be. I'm going to go bend these tabs over right now, and this is what's going to connect the top of the dash to the body structure. Hopefully it fits. Well, that's looking really good. We're spot on with our mark on the outside, and the only thing we have to do is trim up the ends so that they come up into the proper alignment. Then we'll drill a few holes, put the fasteners in so this piece doesn't keep floating around. We'll get the top piece installed and scribe the 2 pieces together, take them both out of the car, tack them, try it again, and see if it fits. And at that point, we can get the fasteners in and then move towards this section here. I shall be right back. I'm going to go trim these up. Let's see if we can get this mounted into place. I've taped spacers onto the face of this piece that we just created so that it spaces us away from the glass and prevents any rubbing later on. Let's get this into place. Look at that. For now, I'm just going to use some self-drilling screws to get everything mounted temporarily. And later we'll go through and insert the proper fasteners. One more screw, guys. Then I can breathe a little easier. Right now I'm going to get the center section or the top section, get it installed. We'll scribe it to that front piece, take everything out, and start putting a few tacks on there. And we're going to test fit it as we're tacking it, just to make sure that we haven't lost any of the curvatures. We're not going to tack it in the car, we'll tack it on the bench outside. If the glass wasn't here and the car was still being built, it'd be a different story. But right now we have to be extra careful. We'll cut the holes for the vents later on. I just want to get the main structure or the main pieces installed. Okay, I see what's happening. We're going to take and nip out the two front corners. It fits well there, but at the new height or at the proper height, we're running into a little bit of clearance issue. So I'm going to take this out, cut those corners, and we'll take and sneak that in afterwards. The caps for the A-pillars will come down and seal those areas up. Now that we have the pieces marked in relation to each other, we're going to take both of them out, take all the tape off, and get a few tacks on there. And once we have enough to hold them together just to test it, we'll test it one more time, make sure everything fits. And at that point, we'll take everything out and weld it up permanently. All right, I got one more screw to install in this center tab. Got the ends done. I think that's got it. Okay. So, got all the screws in place. We had this out on the bench. We tacked the two pieces together, and now we've installed it. It feels pretty rigid in here. I need to space this up here. Sitting a little bit low, I got to bring it up a bit. I need some blocking. Let's see here. Now this is only temporary, guys. When you're playing with lines, you can use just about anything to help you out. Blocks of wood, pieces of metal, whatever. Okay, even a screwdriver has been known to help me in a pinch. That line looks pretty good there. Actually, that's better there. Okay. Don't need this one. Good. Symmetric from side to side. I'll get a tape measure on that afterwards, but I just want to play with a few lines here and basically create this section here. There's going to be an upper section and then a lower section. Let's work on the upper section first. I need to extend a line horizontally from the bottom of this location here over to the gauge pod. So I've got a few blocks of wood. Just lock this up in here. Now, I did measure, and our height is set perfectly from side to side. I also measured a piece of blocking into here. That'll help support this horizontal line. Now, we're not going to be using wood, but it's just a means to mock it up. And I've got a piece of strip metal here. That looks pretty good there. This flange has to come out a little bit more at an angle here, but let's trim this part back a little bit here. Like I said, I'm just playing with lines right now, guys. Alright, so this is going to be a horizontal soft radius through here with probably a chrome strip along the middle that'll work into the stereo bezel over here. I'm going to create a bend inwards, and it'll probably be about a 1/4 inch or so, just enough for a piece of trim. And that's where we're going to hide the fasteners for this upper section here. Okay, so I know this is going to work pretty well from about the door line here. This is going to be angled in a bit here because we have the door panel, which can be redone anyway. The door panel will work into this end piece here. This can come out now. Yeah, that's looking really good. That'll be scribed there. That'll tuck up underneath there. This has to be vertical. Before we make this piece up here, I'm going to take and cut out the gauge pod that was fabricated for that gauge there out of the old dash, bring it in and see how it fits in here. If we can use it, that would be great. We might even narrow this up a bit. Instead of going the full 1 inch down, we might go, let's go 1/2 inch and return this sharp line inward. It'll stiffen up the bottom lip. Yeah, I like that a lot better. You see? Now if I was playing with one big piece in here, trying to wrestle it into place, it wouldn't be so successful. Here I can just keep playing with this strip until I'm happy with it. And yeah, let's run with that. And the bottom piece is going to go into here. Let's maybe if we clamp this in place, like say there, I can develop this bottom strip here and get a complete profile of the dash. I need to get a squeeze clamp. Stay. Nope, won't stay. Let's try this again. Like that. Okay. All right. Let us do something, I think, along the lines of that. Well, I'm liking the way all this is working out right now. These profiles look good. What I'm going to do is go to the old dash, take and cut out that instrument cluster top, and then we'll bend up this top piece, clamp it in place, get a few clamps on the end there. And once that's in place, we'll take and bend up this lower section. Then it'll basically go from the steering column out to the end. We have to make a place for a key yet. And then once we have the two pieces installed here, we can scribe the end, make up a piece, and create an end cap. Then we can start on the center section. Here's the top section. Let's see how it looks. Now we are long, I expected that. So we can notch around these the instrument lights here. I'll make some space for this. Kind of like that. So that'll slide over a bit. I don't want to cut off too much off the end because, like I mentioned, we're going to take me rolling this end over. And I left excess on top because we're going to scribe that, roll it over the edge, roll the edge over, I should say, so that it doesn't cut the material once it's all wrapped later on. We want a soft edge. If I left that raw like that, first of all, it's kind of wavy. Second of all, it'll potentially cut the leather material. So let's cut that out, refit this. That fits really, oh, look at that. Just fell into place, guys. It looks as though we will be able to use this cover here. Wow, look at that. You can drive a truck through that space. Once we trim that up, that'll allow that to come down. We'll move that clamp, again allowing that to come down a bit further. We have about 1.25 inch space that we can reduce over there. This here comes up and mates up very nicely with the bottom edge of our bezel and this top cover. So that's working out really well. All right, where is my bottom piece? There's the top one. We're done with that. Don't need that anymore. There's the bottom one. Don't know if you guys can see that, but that's going to sit there just like that. And it's going to go from the steering column out to the outer edge here. And it's a simple bend. We need to add about 1.5 inches. I'll probably add 2 inches at the bottom here, and we'll fit it to the bottom of the dash section. Got to watch the wires. We don't want to nick anything here. No pun intended. Fitting together there. Alright guys, well, what do you think? Things are really shaping up here. It feels more spacious and a lot cleaner. Got the top section installed, you saw that earlier. Got this front face trimmed up and installed on a few screws. This top section over the instrument cluster, that will work from the previous dash. We have to add a little bit down below here and as well as up above, but overall it's going to look good. And we actually have a screw holding it here. And in terms of this bottom section, that really opened things up down below. It just looks a lot cleaner than before. We don't have that glove box anymore. We're not going to bother putting that in. We have the armrest storage compartment. And I've been working on a template here on the end, so that's pretty much established where it needs to be. That's going to come down like that and then roll around at the bottom, give us a nice smooth corner here. And right now what I'm going to be working on is this head unit area here. We've got a drawing we're working from. We've got the head unit right here. So she's going to sit, actually this way around, sit right in there.